Hello, neighbors, and welcome back to the neighborhood. I'm Squealer D, and I am back again. And this time we are back with Amy Maryon, and she is doing a different kind of Friday, guys. Not her normal Fragment Friday, but a different kind of Friday. So let's see. We have edited it down from about 40 minutes to just over 17 minutes. So hopefully it's a little bit more interesting than hers. Let's get going.
Hey, so we're having a great day today. Today is Friday. Happy Friday morning to you. I hope that your morning is going well. My morning is going great. I'm outside once again. My first cup of coffee, enjoying the quiet. Days used to be like busy, get up early, get my day done because it's a long day. Fridays are starting to become the more chiller day. I don't know if you noticed, my Gather Your Fragment videos are much shorter than...
There are no fragments for you to gather, Amy. The only fragments you have are sandwich meat and bread. So you could gather a sandwich.
And they used to be, where like during the week a lot more is going on. I don't know. That's just what's happening in our household right now. Yesterday we did the beach. I'm kind of glad I ended my vlog early because we laughed and drove, and it was very pretty drive. So I think someone said to visit historic downtown historic Fort Myers. So I apologize. I think it was downtown. But as we were driving,
let's guess. You're going to talk about it for 15 minutes, but not show us anything.
We saw like Edison and Ford something. I wrote that down too because I thought, how cool is that? Because we lived in Michigan. Obviously Henry Ford is big there, and Thomas Edison is big because, you know, he passed by there.
As she tells the story, remember that Amy is the primary teacher for 10 children so far.
He lived there as a young kid. He lived by the bridge that he, in the movie with, what's the guy's name? I don't remember what the guy's name is, but it's an old black and white movie in Hollywood. I think they recreated it like a train bridge that
Amy spent several minutes telling us about this, and she doesn't even know the story. She has no idea how Thomas Edison ties into Michigan. She watched a movie one time, but she can't remember who was in the movie or what the movie was about. Imagine her being your history teacher.
Traveled over, and we lived by that train bridge. I don't know if they recreated it or they actually filmed there. I'm pretty sure they just recreated it. And then in North Carolina where we lived in the town of Zirconia. Well, Zirconia is known for zircon. Back in the day, they mined it there, and Thomas Edison actually bought some property or land or whatever he did because he was going to mine it and put it originally in his light bulbs, but never did. So I thought, how cool is that? That right here in Florida, same thing. So they must have kept going and enjoying the mountains, and I thought that was great. And then,
what do you mean in Florida, same thing? He didn't buy land in Florida to mine zircon for like he did in Zirconia. He bought land in Florida because he was the original snowbird, Amy. Learn your history before you try to teach it to a platform of 144,000 subscribers.
But wow, I need to get even warmer, and went to Florida to the beach, and then we got to drive through the hurricane damaged area of Fort Myers. I was like, oh my goodness, it was just destroyed. Like, you think of the mass destruction in a year, like still not cleaned up. We saw boats like pushed over the road and just sitting out in the middle of a field somewhere, big giant boats. And then I thought, wow.
Were they not cleaning it up fast enough for you, Amy? It's a natural disaster where like 97% of the entire city was destroyed, had some type of damage. And they're not cleaning it up fast enough for Amy, so she can come and have a nice little getaway with the fam.
Just buildings destroyed, and you know, you like in my head you think, wow, couldn't you just fix it up real quick in a year's time? But obviously you cannot. There's so much. Jaden's group that she went with church, they were down there and they did a couple houses, and those people were going to be able to move back in their house because they helped with that. So I thought, that's really cool. What are they going to do down there? Just clean up the mess? But then I'm like, oh, it's going to be for a lot of people that like can't even get back in their house. Maybe they didn't have insurance, or maybe the insurance didn't cover it, or it's so far backlogged. I don't know. I know there's a ton of reasons newer to the whole region with the hurricanes, and I know as time goes on we'll probably learn more. But
you're definitely going to learn more, Amy. 38% of homes in the county you live in, Manatee County, are at risk of flood, high risk of flood damage. 100% of homes in your county are at risk of high winds. That means that as the temperatures change in Florida, things are only getting worse. Over the last 30 years, things have only gotten worse. Pretty soon, your insurance is going to be either unavailable or useless, and you didn't think to look any of this up before you made a life change at 50 and moved to Florida. Well done. Well done.
Just total devastation. I was like, wow. So going to the beach, we pulled up and I'm like, oh my goodness, it was just like, it was Fort Myers Beach. And I'm like, at one time, obviously, it was a happening place, probably last year. Tons of big high rises, tons of big fun things, and then just all destroyed, all just crazy. So the beach, we got to the beach, I'm like, oh my goodness, every building on it was just yuck. They had some newer buildings that had gone up. You could tell they were new, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, and then we got to the beach and got on it, and it was low tide. Okay, we're learning low tide and high tide. Low tide.
Imagine buying a home, a $650,000 home by the beach, and not understanding low tide and high tide.
And I was like, and it was very murky and dirty. I was like, what? And so obviously we were there for our kids and our teens to have fun. So who cares? They don't care about murky water. They don't care about if the beach, they could care less if we just sat in a field. That wasn't the point. But the water was so yucky. So yucky. Like it was low tide, murky.
This woman is 50 years old and an educator, and her main form of a descriptor is yucky.
Walking, you're walking out there and you feel things move on your feet. I don't like that feeling. You can't see what it is, so it's like, what is that? What I found, he pulled up sand dollars, and I was like, oh my goodness, over where we were at, and I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't do that. So very cool for kids to see. I'm like, oh, let's go back up, and it smelled. It was so stinky, so stinky. So we went up, and not judging, I'm giving you our experience of it. We were researching, why is it so yucky here? Okay, so there's like a whole story. We thought, even a couple of their friends at church, they were like, maybe it's so damaged from the hurricane. No, it's not actually damaged from the hurricane. It's damaged from farm fields. And so there's a natural freshwater lake, huge lake. I think it was either, I'm not sure where it was in relation to that beach, but it had a natural spillway dam. And so what happens is, obviously if the water rises, they like flush it out every once in a while so it doesn't break the dam. And there's farm fields all around it, sugarcane all around.
Sugarcane from all the full soda sugars and all the full sugar treats you have, Amy.
Around it. So all the pesticides, all the yuck from the fields are going into that lake, and then they spill it out because they don't want the dam to explode, because there's people all right there, and there's a lot of people in neighborhoods that would just get, flooded out. So they let the dam, they release it. Well, what happens is it releases into that beach area. So it just makes the water super murky and disgusting. I was like, wow, so now the water doesn't look like that all the time.
You are really helping tourism to this natural disaster stricken area, Amy.
Be beautiful like our beaches that we went to by us, because I was like, gosh, are all the beaches like this, just yucky as you get further south? And so that was the story behind it. So I think the whole EPA team is looking at it, blah blah blah, it's money, you know how it is, government control, all those things, you know how that is. So sad, very sad that they didn't find some other alternative, because the beach was just gross. So every once in a while, that's what you're swimming in, is murky. It was just gross. It was like it stunk. It was just yucky, very yucky. So I told Greg, I'm like,
we get it. She said that beach was yucky at least 10 times. And keep in mind, I have edited this down a lot.
And it was very cloudy and overcast. We ended up having to leave because it rained. I was like, wow, I'm glad I ended my vlog, because it was just like yuck. It was very yuck. Very like.
You didn't end your vlog, Amy. You didn't even start your vlog. You didn't show us any of the trip or the beach.
Pouring. So we load. I'm like, well, at least we'll get rinsed off. So we loaded up. There's porta potties, because everything is destroyed. So I was thinking we could take a shower and change. Yeah, that didn't happen. So we just.
Of course it didn't happen. You were in a natural disaster area, and you thought you were going to go and shower in some wondrous bathrooms.
Like put everything in the car, full of sand, full of wet sand. Sand in Florida is very sticky. That's okay. And I had a couple water bottles. We were rinsing our feet off, to get in the car. And then I'm like, oh, I have umbrellas. So we got our umbrellas out. We went to gather up acquired Jaden. She had a good time this week. She was definitely tired, but she had a good time serving and helping, which was really good. And then 2-hour car ride home. So we just talked and chatted.
And you guys had to drive 2 hours in the car, sandy and wet. And Amy hated every minute of it.
And shared pictures. They looked at all this stuff with their friends and just had a good time. And then we ordered, right before we were coming home, we ordered Culver's, big giant cooler bag by my feet.
This woman is 50 years old. Culver's is greasy and not very tasty. She cannot afford a heart attack. Heart disease runs rampant in women of her age. And she eats Culver's, and then she feeds Culver's to Jaden. And Jaden is too big to eat Culver's. I'm sorry. But if she eats a healthy diet, why is she not helping and encouraging Jaden to eat a healthy diet also? Instead, she gives her lead poison snack mix and frozen pizzas. It's not right. It's child abuse.
I had my feet up and I'm like, we just did curbside pickup and got our food and then went home. It's like 10 minutes from our house, which was awesome. And we came home and then I'm like, they just put all their sandy, wet, everything's just soaking wet. Everything's at the front door. I'm like, we'll get to that tomorrow. So today's video is going to be very much different than a normal Friday because this is real life and this is what I'm doing. So I thought I was gonna just do chatting here and I thought, well, maybe I'll just do a huge voiceover. It's more personable when you see someone's face and you're talking to them, like you're talking to them, even though I'm talking to a camera. And so I thought, well, if they want to talk and they don't want to watch the cleaning, that's okay too. So let's go in and we're going to start.
Amy, why don't you just read in the comments what people want? They told you they don't mind your talking and they don't mind your cleaning, but they do not want you to sit here for 25 minutes and say 5 times, okay, I'm done talking, we're going to go inside, 5 different times. Nobody enjoys that. Nobody enjoys listening to you speak your thoughts out loud, and we don't know if it's reality or not. We do not like that. I know I read your comments. Why don't you read your comments? They're telling you what they want.
Cleaning up the mess and getting things. I know we have a lot of food stuff all over the counter, like all the containers, and then we'll put all of our laundry, get that rolling, clean up. Maybe we'll get done quick. I don't know. Maybe it'll go quick. Maybe it won't be so bad after all, and then just see where life takes us today. Thanks for coming along, watching, and the journey that we're on in life, because this is how it is here.
You cook minimal food, you heat it up, and you clean up every day in the house. I don't understand how your days are so stressing, Amy.
In Florida, a little different than the mountains, and that's okay. We're learning new things, we're exploring new things, we're spending our days completely different than we used to. So just depends on how it goes. So, all right, let's go inside. And so I'm gonna just make a sandwich. Greg said he'd have a breakfast sandwich. So I'm gonna do bologna, eggs, on a bagel, something simple.
Bologna, eggs,
I just got my
and a bagel.
Because it just like keeps wanting to.
So this is Greg's breakfast: bologna, eggs, and a bagel. And the bagel, this is Greg, who is a 50-year-old man who is obviously overweight, and he does not get exercise. He is having a 280-calorie bagel. He's having 2 slices of old, nasty, cheap bologna. That is about 220 calories. He's having 2 eggs for about 150 calories. This disgusting little sandwich here is over 650 calories. And if he has a beverage, that is why he has women breasts. That's what's wrong with him. This sandwich is too many calories for a man who's already overweight.
Slide off on here easily, so it's good. I just use olive oil, and that's why it's a little blackened, so I should have just used butter, but it's good. And this is real simple. I love that my family loves to just have simple eggs on a sandwich. It's like they're all getting older, and everybody makes it.
Amy, this is a voiceover right here. I left this so people can hear. You are doing a voiceover. You're speaking over the video. You should have a microphone, and you should be speaking directly as you're doing this. Why can we not hear you? Why are you whispering? Why does your sound so low and distant like you're underwater? It's not that difficult. if you do mess up, if your volume is too low, you can re-record, or you can even turn up the volume. You have options, Amy. I use Premiere Pro too. I know this. Your audience, they may not know, but you are giving them subpar quality just to get through quicker so you can make the same amount of money, and we do not get the same quality videos that you used to even give. You should be increasing the quality of your videos, not getting worse, Amy.
Our own breakfast, which is awesome. We were on late time today because everybody was so tired.
Amy, you're always on late time. This is a reoccurring thing in your house. You are on late time. Your children sleep in every day. Greg sleeps in every day.
And that's okay. I know I was exhausted. It's like you don't really do anything, but that heat definitely makes you tired. And sitting on the beach is such a hard job to do. No, I'm just kidding. It was good. Everybody's exhausted. So I was just wiping everything down. It's like the kitchen's not that dirty. It really is staying cleaner. Life is.
It's very easy to stay clean in the kitchen when you don't cook, Amy.
It's different here. I was telling Greg today, I'm like, it's just a slower, different life. It's like I don't feel like I have to do it as many things as I did when I lived in the mountains. There wasn't that much in here. I'm like, I'm gonna wash it. By the time the kids are moving, they can put those all away. And then I put my rack back in the sink here so it didn't ruin it, because I did see that it was getting scratched on there.
Stop piling your dishes in there.
So the laundry's rolling. We're getting so much stuff washed. This is all the lunches. Yes, everybody can empty them. Yes, they could on their own. They're going to do other things. Don't worry. I'm doing like minimal. Like people think my kids should do more. They are doing a lot. Like I just do the minimal. Just get a little bit cleaned up.
What do your kids do? You don't cook, so there's nothing for them to clean in the kitchen. You clean up their backpacks. You clean up the kitchen. You clean up outside. You clean up the bathrooms. You cleaned up the extra room. You clean up the living room. You clean up the dining room. What exactly? Oh, and you mow the lawn and you hang up blinds. What exactly is there left for your children to do?
Like you did something accomplished, and they do a whole lot more. So I'm just going to empty these, put them in piles. I got to take the stuff, put it in the washer. We'll just wash all the bags in the washer because it's easier than hand washing it.
Everybody's lunches I'm taking out. This was a lot of the treats that we had for the teens. They didn't touch the snack mix.
They didn't touch the snack mix because who would want to touch the snack mix? Who looks at this bag and sees Cheerios and says, yum-ee, let's get some of that? Nobody, Amy. You ruined all of those treats. Boxes and boxes of Cheez-Its and wonderful treats that the children would have ate. They could have ate. You could have left them on the counter and they would have enjoyed them. But now they're poisoned with lead and they're never going to get eaten. She has 22 of these bags and they are never going to get eaten.
Which was okay. They touched mostly the cookies and that. And then they got rained on. So I didn't keep any of that because it was like soggy. So we ended up having to throw some of them away. Not a lot, but just some. And then the
big giant pile on the ground of all my bags and lunch bags down on the floor. I'm just going to throw those all in the washer, mixing with towels, things like that, so they get clean, and then wipe all the sand.
You're going to mix the sandy food bags with towels in the wash. Good thinking.
The sand. Oh my goodness, my car. I can't wait to go clean it. But what is that? I found that. Let me try that all over again. I found that on the shore. The kids also found some sand dollars.
Wow, Amy, that's a great find.
Which were kind of cool. They were dead, all dried up, which is really cool. So we got.
How were the sand dollars dead and all dried up if he got them out of the water? They were floating around your feet. It sounds to me like they were living and you took them from the beach and now they're all dried up and dead.
Some of those too were those outside washing. So let me know what this is because I have no idea.
Well, normally I've been leaving the benches down because the vacuums do get under there, but I thought when I put them all up, I do re-wipe the table afterwards because I know the legs of the things are dirty.
You never re-wipe the table afterwards, Amy. I have been watching you for 5 years, and for 5 years you have put these dirty, disgusting stools and chairs up on top of your table after you wipe the table down, and never one time have I seen you re-wipe the table down. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Prove me wrong. Go to your footage and find some because you do not do it.
But just getting everything up. Here's my pile of stuff to do on the table. Still, more stuff. All of these bags in my washer. And they all came out perfectly clean, which is crazy. And I just set them outside so they can dry. And then taking everybody's shoes outside, and then put them in the sun for a little bit because they can melt. We've had melty flip-flop weather.
The kids can't wash their own shoes. They can't throw them outside to dry themselves. This is an Amy job.
So I just kept checking at them. I'm just laying them right here in the direct sun and then going back out in a little bit. I keep checking at them.
That pool does not look better. Like looking through the door, that doesn't look better than it used to look.
Make some sandwiches. I'm gonna make my own Greg's. I like that one I had yesterday with the hummus and the sprouts. That was so good. So I'm gonna make that. Make him a sub. I'm gonna take a break and eat outside with him while he's working on the pool. It looks so great. And then,
which definitely trying to, eat better is always
more sandwiches. This is lunch now.
good. Getting older, going through those.
She said they're eating healthier. So these sandwiches that they ate, all that bagel, all those bagel calories that they ate, that was them eating healthier, guys.
Perimenopausal times in my life, I know it's good to have better choices, the drill, blah, 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 blah. It's just easier to get into a rut and not do anything, so.
You are not the only one going through old age. Greg is also going through old age. He's 50 years old now. You should be more conscious of his heart. His heart can fail just as fast as your heart. Giving him all of this mayonnaise, all of these processed foods, all of these fats, not thinking about his sugar intake. Amy, it appears that you are trying to kill Greg. That's what it looks like. It looks like you are trying to give him a cookie heart attack.
Having your husband outside working on tasks, you can have lunch together. So this is going to be, I'm loving this. This is my favorite setup. This right here.
So that was her and Greg's lunch. Once again, way too many calories. Way too many calories for Greg. He has chips, which are 148 calories a serving. That looks like more than a serving to me. That sub roll that Greg has is about 400 calories, guys. The ham, 180 calories. Turkey, 90 calories. Miracle Whip, 40 calories. Provolone cheese, 180 calories. Grapes, 100 calories. That's a total of 1,130 calories for Greg's lunch. And always keep in mind that Greg and Amy do not work out. These are sedentary people. They live a sedentary lifestyle. Just because Greg is working on the pool right now does not mean that he is working out.
The vacuums are done. Those are my salt and pepper chips, or the cheese and pepper chips. So good. Gonna go take a break, eat, and then feel revitalized, come back and finish up.
Space there, so I might as well do that. And
what is this on the wall right here? I notice it on a lot of the walls. They have so much damage on this house. Did Greg buy a house where all the walls have scratches and holes and damage?
then,
Or did
things like always.
Or did they cause these?
Gotta follow me. She's like, here, I'm gonna lay with you in bed and mommy on the floor. I'm gonna put our water bottles. This cooler kept our water frozen solid. Like,
I didn't think you guys would drink your water. You were gone all day, 4 hours of driving, and the water's still there because you and your children do not drink water.
there was still frozen water bottles in here. I got those ones when I went shopping. Took them just in case we needed them, but ended up not staying there all day because it ended up raining. So I'm gonna put them right back in the freezer. So if we need them again for emergency, we have them. Like, seems like, let me put it on, turn the smoker, get it rolling. I don't think I actually put it on here. Do I just turn it on? Yes, just turned it on. Cooking outside is a great, easy thing to do. Do I put them on?
That smoker is so dirty. I think in the entire 5 years I've been watching her, I've only seen her clean it one time. I've also never seen her add wood or pellets or anything like that. I think she's smoking the food off of the dirt and grime from the previous time she smoked.
Here, there I am. I'm like, do I put them on here? And then stick them right on there. I had it at like 380, so cook fast. Back in the kitchen, do a quick pickup of the refrigerator because there's a lot of stuff shoved in the random parts of the refrigerator. Just trying to find a space for everything, so I just kind of did it real quick.
Amy, if you look at your fridge, it actually has sections for things, sections for fruit and veg so that they won't go bad. If you use your refrigerator correctly, you won't have so many items going bad. It's a $2,000 refrigerator. It's high tech. Read about it.
Look through of it, making sure we got everything. Still don't really have a way that I set everything. We could definitely use a bigger refrigerator because there's so many of it.
I pulled some chicken breast right here out of the freezer. It's like been sitting here for not too long. I'm just gonna put that on there. I'll sprinkle some seasoning on it and that's it. I'm gonna smoke it, cook it, let it be done, and then we're gonna use this tonight. Roasted pineapple habanero sauce. Thought that would be good. And then we'll have it with chips and salsa and corn on the cob, and then all the fruits and any veggies. That's where it's gonna be good. That's an easy dinner. That's my Friday dinner, gathering fragments, using them up. I got like a Temu thing, and it's like a solar light, and it had like little lights coming out, and so I just put
More items from Temu. Amy, look up Temu.
those in my front. I've got my hanging fairy lights like on glass jars. We have one tree out front, so I thought I'd stick those on there. I have to do that. And I went to go hang my wind chime out front, and I step outside and I'm like, I wonder if you can have wind chimes out here. Like the neighborhood's quiet. I don't know. Like it's not a...
You wonder about the loudness of wind chimes on your front porch, but you didn't wonder about tearing a pool apart?
loud neighborhood, so I'm like, I might have to have Greg install something back here. We don't have any hooks or anything in the back of the house, but so, and then I thought, I'm never outside, so I'm not gonna see him out here anyways. So I put him back in my
You're never outside. Amy, you're outside all the time.
closet, or put him in my closet, and then I wait till we do something out here. We'll put some hooks out there and I can hang them, because I'm like, I'm never even gonna hear him out front. So
Some cucumbers here, and then they are just kind of getting bad. They were going bad first, so I'm gonna have to be more mindful when I grab these, but some were smushy, I thought. And then I had some shredded lettuce. I thought, let me make a real quick small
Yay, more smushy veggies.
salad for dinner. I'll eat that up. That was really yummy. Put some tomatoes in it. It was easy.
Amy makes herself a salad for dinner.
and I said, it stunk in here so bad. I'm like, what is that smell? It smells like something died. It was the broccoli, because I could smell it now. I'm like, you.
More smelly broccoli.
The water's not that cold coming out of our tap, because it's, you know, Florida, and it's a lot warmer here. Or it's more like the smushy kind of broccoli.
So chicken on the smoker, what I did is I grabbed this.
That was the broccoli that she purchased, and we knew she wasn't going to get through it. At least she's freezing it instead of throwing it away. But it did make her house smell what? Like death.
Seasoned salt. I think this is what Greg had at the apartment. It was like
It's like the broccoli from hell.
pepper and salt and garlic, paprika, a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna do like a nice, like make my own. Hello, make your own. When the stuff runs out, because this was really good. And I just kind of rubbed it in.
Greg had better seasoning at his apartment than Amy does at her fully stocked kitchen.
Both sides of the chicken. It's on the smoker. And I moved the corn to the top. So that's gonna be it for dinner.
And then I was underneath here and I saw like a bright red thing in the back of it. I'm like, what is it? It was a roach trap. I'm like, ugh. So I took that up. We don't have roaches in here. Maybe they did at one time.
You don't have roaches in there because there's a roach trap, Amy. Maybe you should put the roach trap back and make sure you put a new roach trap in every so often so that you keep the roaches away.
And so all good things, all in a day's work here.
It has been a busy day. So I'm gonna get a cup of coffee here. I don't usually do coffee in the afternoon. Is it bad to do a cold coffee?
She says she usually doesn't do coffee this late. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, and she was just at Starbucks the other day at 4 or 3:30 in the afternoon. Amy, you definitely do coffee in the afternoon.
Can I do one in here maybe? Can you put it hot in here? I think you can. Let me see how this works. Well, let me try something here. Never mind, I have no ice.
How do you have no ice? You own like 4 ice makers, 4 of them.
That's kind of funny. I just dumped all that ice out, but I guess it takes more than a few minutes to make ice in my ice machine. It's good. Good.
You thought that your one refrigerator was going to replace all those ice machines that you had hooked up at the old house?
All right,
And it's way hotter here.
coffee. I'll take a hot coffee in the 100-degree heat. It's actually getting a little bit cooler, a little bit, and we just turned our
Not cool enough for you to stop complaining about the heat.
temperature's been at 72 in our house without fail all day, all night, 72. At nighttime, I turned it up at 73 just to save a little bit. But in the morning, I'm like, it's so cold in here. So I just changed the thermostat to 73 during the day, and then 74, and like before we go to bed, and then 75 during the night. So we'll see how that works. But just try to, change your electric bill a little bit, because that's always a good thing.
Change your electric bill. Amy, you said you have solar and that you wouldn't be paying an electric bill and that your electric didn't matter. Which is it?
We have solar, so it covers most of it, but wear and tear on your air conditioner is not good either.
Wear and tear on your air conditioner. You're using the same amount of air conditioning, whether it's 2 degrees off or not, Amy.
So the worst is when you break your favorite coffee cup. I'm using my mom cup forever because it's purple, and I just dropped the glass on it and cracked it.
You dropped and cracked this glass because when you bought this glass, you were being hateful. You bought this glass and you bragged. You said, I bought a glass with mom all over it, so nobody else will use it. It has my name all over it. And this is what you get. You dropped it and broke it. This hateful glass had too much hateful energy in it, and it exploded on itself.
It's okay. So I was going to put, we have lots of this pasta broccoli, like 3 containers. I thought, let's just heat it up. Let's just use your hands, I just washed them. We can use this for dinner. And
always have tons of pasta broccoli when you make it, Amy. Always.
put this in the microwave. And then I'll probably go out and see what, I have 1 hot dog here. Just 1 hot dog, just put this in the smoker. How about that roast that? Ugh, bummer.
How do you know that there's not chunks of little pieces of ceramic or glass floating in your cup, Amy? You just keep slurping on it.
I'm gonna have to go get another favorite cup. I usually just use one. I'm gonna have to go get another one back. The food off the smoker, so here is the chicken. Turned out.
That chicken looked dry as sin. That's probably because she just put it frozen straight from frozen onto the smoker, and she smoked that. Smoker smokes with grime. Those are grime chickens.
Really good, and then we'll put this.
At least she cooked a meal, though. Like, it's not a great meal, but it's better than a $7 Aldi pizza.
Roasted pineapple habanero sauce on. I'm sure it's delicious. I'll let you know underneath here if it's good. Here's the corn. This is what it's like. It looks like it's all burnt, but it's not. It's nice and juicy. A little bit of burnt piece there and moist inside. This will be a really good corn on the cob. And then I heated up the pasta broccoli. We'll have this as well. And I'll pull out the fruit, the watermelon, cucumbers, fruits and veggies, all that good stuff for dinner. Okay, dinner was super easy and delicious. The corn was so good. Easy, just peeling it off. That is delicious. Cooked over the fire like that. It was smoker actually. Just put butter on it, salt and pepper. And then there's not many of my kids like corn on the cob. I like it, Greg likes it, Steven likes it, and that's about it, which is so...
She made all this corn and none of her kids except for Steven eats it. I'm guessing that all this corn is going to get thrown away.
So I had a lot of extra, so we saved it. And this pineapple habanero sauce for the chicken, oh, that was so good. I'm gonna have to get some more of it. Obviously I can probably make it, so I'm gonna make myself a note to make it or buy more of it because it was really good. I thought it wasn't too spicy and it was very sweet, so that was a really good top.
That is dinner, guys. They have to eat leftover broccoli pasta with dry chicken. You can put what you want on top. Corn, nobody likes the corn, and veggies that she herself said were yucky.
I'm gonna write it down right now as I'm editing so I remember to put it on top. Easy light dinner, and it had leftovers, delicious.
Sure. It hasn't gone in yet, it's right there. All right, so. Nope, it's all done. All right, dinner's done.
She couldn't have edited that out, guys. She couldn't have edited that out and restarted recording and said, okay, guys, dinner's done. She left that in because she does not care. She doesn't care about herself looking stupid. She doesn't care about her children looking stupid. All she cares about is putting up a video so she can get the views and get her Google ad money. That is what Amy cares about. And her quality keeps declining. And her viewers are going to keep declining also. If you look at the views from now versus 5 years ago, Amy, what are you doing? You're driving your business into the ground, just like Greg drove his sign shop into the ground. Stop it.
And we're going to call everybody down to eat. It's going to be a simple, easy dinner, calling it a night. So thank you guys for watching. You have a fantastic rest of the day. And I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow for Abundantly Blessed. If not, I'll see you on Monday. All right, bye. Okay, so we're going to...
Alrighty, well, that was it. That was a horrible Friday. I think that she should definitely go back to Gather Your Fragment Fridays. At least she had a theme and something that gave us something to look forward to watch. Amy, I used to watch you. You used to be kind of weird, kind of different, but you had 10 kids, so I knew you were different. But guess what? You're not different anymore. You are openly disgusting. You are a bigot and it shows. You are not a nice person. You pretend to be a Christian And it is not a good look for people who are actually Christians. So that is it for this one. Guys, stay tuned for the next. It's on its way. I will see you in the very next video. Have a great day. Bye, neighbors.